Our love will still be beyond. What is up? I think we're ready. Yeah, I think we're ready. Yeah, I think we're here. What is up? Are y'all ready to find out? Are you one of the gods who fell to earth? The gods who fell to earth. Are you ready to find out if you are one of those sacred beings? We're going to talk about it. We are going to talk about it. What is up, family? Before we do that, before we get into the gods who fell to earth, let's jump into this new moon in Gemini energy. I just want to see what's a mantra that we can take with us in this space and time. I just want to see what is a mantra that we can take with us in this space and time. So I got these healing mantra cards. I'm about to shuffle them up so that we can see what mantra is going to be in alignment with this Gemini new moon energy. Y'all already know Geminis are the people that they say have two faces. They have two sides to them, right? They have two sides to them, the Jekyll and the Hyde, right? One moment they're loving, the next moment you're like, who the hell is this? I actually have a Gemini father. I have a father who is a Gemini. Do y'all have some Gemini family? Let me know in the comments if you have some Gemini family. Let me know if somebody in your family is a Gemini. Let me know some character traits, some characteristics of that Gemini family member. Like I said, my dad is a Gemini, and he's something else. He has those two sides to him, as we all do. And what we need to know about these signs and about these new moons and things like that, we need to know and understand that we embody all of these energies within ourselves. We embody all of these energies within ourselves, right? So, yes. What's up, Shay? Shay, do me a favor. Go ahead and share this video with the Sacred Sister Circle. And then everybody else, as you're coming in, see, y'all already got manners. A lot of y'all are already coming in and liking the video. Let's take it a step further and share it, because this is going to be a good one. It's been a while since I've been live. At least a week, over a week for sure. Over a week for sure. Spirit, what are we doing with this Gemini energy? What's going on with this Gemini new moon? It's funny because I have a Gemini brother as well. My second youngest brother, who is actually turning 24 at the end of this month. Wait, is his birthday? Wait. It's probably my brother. I know my brother's birthday is one of these days. Gemini brother. Right? I got a Gemini brother and a Gemini father, right? And we all have those two sayings, those two faces. Yes. Thank you, Tiara. I feel good. And you know what they say, when you feel good, you look good. And yes, the man who fell to earth. I picked up some major downloads, some major gems in that movie. In that series. I'm not all the way through it. I'm just on like the 4th episode and I feel inspired. So we're going to talk about today the gods that fell to earth. Because you want to know something? All of these shows that they create them based off of us in our life. And so we are like Mr. Faraday. We come from a faraway land and we come here in this physical reality to earth. We fall to earth to have an experience that is going to better us for our return. Okay, for our return. Peace, Miss Seymour. What's up, sis? Peace to you. Peace, triple Triple K 0305, two Gemini sisters. My kid's father's a Gemini as well. They are able to shift quickly, yet don't stay there long. Wardrobe, moves, decisions, etc. They love new love and the energy of dating. Girl, you better give us some science. Spirit, what's a mantra that we can tap into with this Gemini new moon as we're in this Gemini energy? What's up, Margaret? Yeah, I have a Gemini father, and my father is so funny. Funny enough, he came over on Sunday. He came to the house, and he bought Kimmy some outfits, y'all. He bought her some onesies, but he bought her little boy onesies. I said, Daddy. So this is the two faces, right? I want to do something nice, but I'm going to do it on a budget. Like, I'm going to do it on a low budget. Like, that's my daddy's energy, right? He brings Kimmy over some onesies, but they're little boy onesies. I'm like, Daddy, do you know these were for boys? He says, well, I got them on sale. I'm like, sir, you got them on sale. Cool that you got them on sale, sir. You couldn't just spend an extra couple of dollars and get some that were made for girls. I mean, I get it if we're trying to do the gender neutral thing, but no, she's a girl. She doesn't have a lot of hair on her head right now. So she needs to wear things like pink and purple and flowers and hearts. She needs to wear things like that. He bought her a blue army fatigue outfit. I'm like, Daddy, this is clearly for a little boy. You know what I mean? And everything you are saying, Triple K 0305, is so accurate because my father is the life of the party. He is hilarious. Like when I tell you he is so funny, he's so funny. I have a best friend whose son was over here. We were babysitting him or watching him, just this Sunday when my dad came over, and my dad is making fun of the little boy's hair because he only has hair on the sides of his head. And my dad says to him, ooh, boy, you look like how I look like when I don't shave my head. I'm like, Daddy, how you gonna say that about this little baby? How you gonna say this about this little baby? So that Gemini energy is very humorous. They have these two sides, right? My daddy is a giving person, but he's stingy at the same damn time. My dad introduced my brother and I to so many new things. Like my dad was the first person to take me to Chipotle. But when he took me to Chipotle, he made me share a burrito with my brother. Now that was okay because them Chipotle burritos be big, but that's how he was. I'm going to take y'all to go have an experience, but it got to be on the free days, when it is absolutely packed. I'm going to take y'all to the zoo, but we got to go early on the day that it's free because, I don't want to spend my money on going to the zoo. Like this was the type of energy that my dad came with that Gemini energy. All right. But the mantra that came out for this Gemini energy says, there is only what life is asking of me. There is only what life is asking of me. Wow. What is life asking of you at this time? What is life asking of you at this time? You know what life is asking of you based off of what your focus is, based off what your energy is, based off what challenges are showing up. That's how you kind of get to know what life is asking of you at this time. And something that is so amazing about my father does not do no resistance. He don't resist anything. Like my father is so go with the flow. He like, all right, you know what? If somebody is acting shady, he is going to be quick to be like, you know what? I see you. I'm going to fall back. I don't got to deal with you. I'm good. Like you said, Tiara, my father is also very cutthroat. He is so funny. He is so down to earth. He wants the best for everybody. But once he see you on some bullshit, he is so cutthroat. He is so done with it. He is so over it really quickly. Oh, the other mantra that came out is It is safe to be in my body. Ooh, that's juicy. It is safe to be in my body. It is safe to be in my body. There is only what life is asking of me. There's only what life is asking of me, and it is safe to be in my body. Some of you may be feeling some aches and pains in this space and time. Maybe your back's been hurting, your head's been hurting, you're cramping, and you got different things going on like that. I want you to reassure yourself that it is safe to be in your body. And I want you to communicate to your body and tell your body to open up and to accept this healing, this transformation, accept this energy, accept what it is that you're giving to your body. You know, you have to tell your body, accept this, be receptive to this, be receptive to this exercising, be receptive to this healthy food, be receptive to releasing this trauma. It is safe now. Ooh, this goes hand in hand with the topic. This goes hand in hand with the topic, the gods who fell to earth. Are you one of them? So this video really is inspired by the show, The Man Who Fell to Earth. How many of y'all are watching this show? I already know my good sis, Tiara, is watching the show. How many of y'all are watching the show, The Man Who Fell to Earth? Let me know in the chat if you are watching the show, The Man Who Fell to Earth. Let me know in the chat. I want to know. You're watching the show. I got some good stuff for y'all today. Are you watching it? If you haven't been watching it, I want to tell you to watch it. It does take some time to get into it, but I've really been interested in the whole time because the man who was acting as Mr. Faraday, his name is like Chinwe Ejiofor, something like that. He is such a good actor. He is such a good actor. I am totally invested in him and watching the rest of this show unfold. If you have not heard of it, or you want to know the network that it's on, it's actually on Showtime. You also can catch it on one of those little streaming platforms like Hulu or Peacock or one of those things like that. You can catch it on there, but it's on Showtime. Okay. And it's The Man Who Fell to Earth. And in the show, and I am only on the 4th episode, but what we see in the show, there's a man named Mr. Faraday who comes down to Earth from a planet called Anthea. And he comes to Earth because his planet is dying. His planet is dying. Just like we see here on our planet, on Earth, how they're talking about global warming and climate change and how the Earth can only take so much at this time. Well, the same thing is happening on Anthea. And so he's come to Earth and he's meeting up with this beautiful Black woman who is a scientist, right? Her name is like Justin or Jessie on the show. She's a scientist. And he came to Earth to connect with her so that they can put together this technology that is going to fuel his planet, right? Because y'all know here on Earth, we are being told, okay, we're using too much gas. We're using too many of the natural resources. We're cutting down too many trees. And all of this different stuff that we are doing is ultimately affecting the planet. Well, the same thing is happening on the show, The Man Who Fell to Earth. He comes to the planet Earth to create a certain technology that is going to create fuel for his planet so that his planet does not have to be draining itself, so that the people do not have to go extinct. That is just a little glimpse into that, okay? But what I want to talk to y'all about is something that I heard him say on this 4th episode. He says, he points to a tree, and this tree is like laying on its side, but it's still functioning, right? It's not standing straight up any longer though. It's like on its side. A lot of us have seen trees like that, especially the old trees, right? And he points to the tree and he says, that tree has deformed itself for its safety. And immediately when he said that last night, I was like, oh shit. How many of us gods and goddesses have deformed ourselves for our safety? I want you to take a moment right now and think about if you have ever deformed yourself, shape-shifted. If you have ever deformed yourself, shape-shifted, and when I say deform yourself, sometimes you may manifest an illness for your safety or for your protection. Sometimes you manifest a nasty attitude for your protection, and you call it your personality. But all of us in some way, shape, or form have deformed our God body to be safe here right now on planet Earth. Okay. I was having a conversation with one of my Sacred Sister Circle members who is on here right now. I'm sure she would not mind me discussing this, but it's so timely. We were having a conversation yesterday. I believe it was yesterday or the day before yesterday. We were having a conversation and we were talking about her ability to express her emotions. And as she was telling me about it, she was telling me that she kind of gained her ability to express her emotions is something that she learned from her parents, something that she learned from her mother, right? She basically was expressing to me that her mother didn't really show a lot of emotion. The only time she really saw her mother express herself and cry was at her grandmother's funeral. That was the only time that she's seen her mother express emotion. See, even something like that is a deformity for safety. Because we are multidimensional beings, expressing emotion is something that we need to do. It's a part of our nature. It's a part of our being. But we would deform ourselves, like my sacred sister was telling me, and this is how I perceive it. Her mother deformed her natural way of being, especially as a woman. Emotion is something that is so natural. Feeling is something that is so natural, but we deform ourselves for a certain level of safety, right? Maybe it was, if I show my emotions, I'll be looked at as weak. Maybe it was, I cannot feel these emotions right now because if I'm in my emotions, I can't get shit done. If I'm in my emotions, I can't be the strong woman, mother, wife that I need to be, right? But we also know from those slavery times that women would not show their emotion when it came down to their husband and when it came down to their children, because if they showed that they were hurt, if they showed that something was bothering them, that slave owner or those people who work for them would torture their family members to a whole nother level because they felt pleasure by causing you pain. And when a person finds pleasure in causing you pain, you are going to deform yourself and you are going to shapeshift yourself to not show pain, to not show emotion, so that that person cannot take advantage of you. Thank you, Soleil. Thank you, Soleil. We deform ourselves just like the tree in The Man Who Fell to Earth. We deform ourselves for safety. We put on these different skins, right? We put on these different skins. We put on these different faces so that we can fit in to whatever environment we are in. And sometimes we do this for so long that we forget that we're gods and goddesses who fell to earth. Sometimes you embody the skin, you embody the deformity, you embody the mentality, the emotionality, the way of being, the habits. Sometimes we embody those things for so long that we forget who we are. Can I get an Ashe? Can I get an amen? Can I get a I feel you, sis, in the chat? Let me know. Let me know if it's making sense. Because what I know is that when I heard Mr. Faraday say that in The Man Who Fell to Earth, I immediately resonated with those words. I got a good personal experience with the deforming ourselves to stay safe, right? So, first of all, whenever we have these beliefs, right? Whenever we have these thought forms and thought processes that really don't serve us, we still use them as a form of safety, right? I used to carry this belief that I was only loved for what I looked like. I was only loved for what I could do. I was only loved for how I could please other people. I had that belief system, and that belief system kept me safe because it made me an overachiever. It made me excel. Oh God, this shit is so deep. It made me excel in sports. It made me excel in school. It made me try to be the best daughter, the best sister, the best granddaughter that I could be, right? Because I felt like if I was that way, my mother and my father would be proud of me. If I was that way, my father would love me. My father would take care of me. My father would provide for me. My father would be that man that I needed him to be. And it's so funny. We're talking about this Gemini energy, right? So I adapted that belief because I dealt with abandonment, because I was the little girl who really wanted her father to be there. And when he was not there, I adopted this belief that I had to be something, that I had to do something to make him be there, to make him want to be present. And so maintaining this thought process that I have to do something to be loved, it kept me safe. It kept me safe from the emotion of I am not loved. Okay. It kept me safe from the thought process of I can't be, my divine self. Does that make sense? Sometimes our safety is really surrounding some of those psychological, physiological things, right? Sometimes we find safety in the shit that is not true, in the stuff that doesn't really serve our highest good. I felt safe in knowing that if I excelled in sports, if I excelled at school, if I was just the best daughter and I kept the house clean, if I was the best daughter to my father and I didn't ask for much. Do y'all know I never asked my daddy for anything? I never asked him for anything. And I did that because in my mind, I was like, I don't want to add an extra burden to him because hell, he already barely picks me up when he's supposed to pick me up. And so I don't want to add an extra burden onto him and him not come. Right? So I found safety in being like, I'm not going to ask for anything. I'm just going to be the best daughter possible. I'm not going to complain about anything. I'm not going to complain about having to share a burger with my brother. My daddy would take us to Whataburger and he would get a Whataburger. Y'all know Whataburger, what a burger. Y'all know that place. If you in Texas, you know Whataburger, right? But my father would take us there and he would ask them to cut the burgers in half, right? And my brother and I, we would share the burger. My daddy would eat the fries and he would upgrade the drink to like the extra large drink and we would all just share the drink. And I found safety in not asking him or in not saying, Daddy, I need a burger to myself. I'm hungry. Daddy, I would really love some fries. Daddy, I don't want a Coca-Cola. I really want a Powerade. Right? So I have found safety, emotional safety. I have found emotional safety in not expressing what it is that I want, what it is that I need, and what it is that I desire. I found emotional safety in being a person who excelled and in being a person who was a people pleaser. Okay? I forgot who I was. I forgot that I was a goddess. I was an infinite being. I forgot that I was a sacred being who simply fell to earth to have an experience. I forgot, as many of us do. Okay? As many of us do. So we deform, right? Needing external approval, needing external validation is a deformity. Because in your God self, in your sacred self, you already know who you are. You already know what it is that you're capable of. And so you don't need anybody to say good job. It feels good, which is why it's challenging for people pleasers to really overcome that state of being, because it does feel good for people to be pleased with you. It feels good for people to say good job. The problem is when you go out of your way and you go against yourself to receive that validation. That is a deformity to who you are as a goddess, to who you are as a divine sacred being. Okay? A lot of times, family, we also do this within our bodies. Some of y'all shapeshift your skin suit. Some of y'all shapeshift your skin suit to fit in. Huh? Ooh, come on. Can I tell y'all how we do that? Let me know in the chat if I can tell y'all how we do it. If y'all don't want to know how we shapeshift the skin suit to fit in, I won't tell you. If you want to know, I'll be more than happy to tell you. Y'all let me know in the chat if I can share with you how we shapeshift our skin suit, meaning this body, this temple that we dwell in. We will shapeshift it to fit in. Can I tell you how? Can I tell you how? Let me know in the chat. Do tell. Stephanie says, do tell. Shay says, please do. Soul Liberation says, I want to know. Absolutely. I'm going to share it with you. When we have things like diabetes, high blood pressure, even things as extreme as strokes, being overweight, where you carry your weight. See, the women in my family, we carry our weight in this area, the chest, the breast, the belly. That's where we carry our weight. If you look at my mother, if you look at my grandmother, they all got skinny legs, but they carry their weight up on their chest and in their bellies. And I done tapped into the science as to why we do this. And I am doing the mental alchemy, the spiritual alchemy, the work to transform that. But the genetics, family, the epigenetics is how we transform our skin suits to fit in, right? To continue the generational illnesses, the generational habits, we do that to fit in, right? Look at your family members. My mother has high blood pressure. Her twin brother has high blood pressure. Her mother and her father, high blood pressure. They've forgotten that they're gods and goddesses and that they don't have to keep reliving the same thing, but they do so to fit in with the family. Literally, we'll repeat the same habits. My mother and my grandmother were over 2 weekends ago. 2 weekends ago, my mother and my grandmother came over to the house to see their grandkids and the great grandkids. They came over. We're outside in the backyard, chilling, talking, having a good time. I'm talking to my mother and my grandmother. And my grandmother tells me that her sister had a stroke, right? She's like, yeah, which one? Yeah, Aunt Annie had a stroke, right? This is what she tells me. And I'm like, damn. And I asked my grandmother right then and there. I said, it seems like strokes are the things that run in our family. And I said this because on my birthday, October 7th, 2014, my uncle, my mother's twin brother, had a stroke. I vividly remember my mother. I had just graduated from college at this time, y'all, so don't judge. But my mother comes into the room on my birthday. She says, get up, we got to go to the hospital. Your uncle had a stroke on my birthday. Okay. On my birthday. My grandmother's sister recently just had a stroke. A couple of years ago, my grandmother's brother had a stroke. And so that's 3 family members that share the same DNA and that are different generations that have had a stroke. And so I asked my grandmother, I said, why do you think our family has strokes? Why do you think that is? And of course, my grandmother says, yeah, diet, poor diet. And I tell her, Grandma, we don't know how to manage stress, right? So the family that you inherit, right? The family that you fall to earth through, the mother that you come through, the father that you come through, oftentimes when you are unconscious, you will transform your skin suit to fit in with that lineage, to fit in with that family. You forgot that you're a God who fell to earth. Okay? In the show, The Man Who Fell to Earth, when he gets to a high altitude in a plane, his skin suit starts shape-shifting. His head starts exploding. I want you to know that you are like the man who fell to earth. You are an infinite being, and you don't have to take on some of the same dis-ease, discomforts, ailments, and habits that your mother, your grandmother, your great-grandmother are all embodying. Because you're a God who fell to earth. Okay? You don't have to take on that stuff. And so for me, when I'm talking to my grandmother and my mother and we're outside in the backyard, you know, Kara's jumping on the trampoline, Kimmy is looking at them like, I'm telling them that we're not doing that no more. We're not taking on other people's shit. We're not fussing and fighting all night, right? We're not forcing ourselves to raise other people's kids because these people cannot get their lives together. We're not doing all of that, because when we reflect on our family in the skin suit and the body, when we reflect on the body, we see that when we take on all of that stress, right? When we take on all of that stress and we don't have spiritual practices like meditation, when we don't exercise, when we don't eat well, we see within our family, it results in strokes. And not everybody recovers from that. My uncle, my mom's twin brother, he's recovered. Gratitude. But I still have another uncle, my grandma's brother, who's still in the hospital right now. He had a stroke a couple of years ago. Now he's living in a nursing home. So you have to pay attention to family, to the different things that you do, the habits. You have to pay attention to the habits that you are upkeeping, that you receive from your mother, from your father, from your grandmother, that you upkeep unconsciously because you want to fit in. This is an unconscious thing that we do. So it's the same thing with unprocessed emotions. It's the same thing with the same way you think and the way you observe the world, the same way you view the world. A lot of these ways that we've been living are deformities to remain safe. Because guess what? When you were the family member that stood out, you already know at the family reunion, people talking shit. Oh yeah, she the weird one. Right? Oh yeah, she don't believe in God no more. You know, you got family members that say that. I got a grandmother on my dad's side. She still messages me to this day. So what are you, baby? What do you believe in? Right? And the reason why she asked that is because we done already broke the mold. We've decided I'm not going to deform. I'm not going to shape shift any longer to fit in to what this family got going on. Because I'm a God who fell to earth. And I'm a God who came to earth to have a certain experience. Right? And in this experience, I am learning and I am realizing that I don't have to deform myself to stay safe. I am safe now. Okay? I am safe now. I am safe to be in my body and to be in it in the way that I best see fit. All right? That makes sense? All right, can we move on? The skin suit to stay safe. Some of you, let me go ahead and drop this in there. Some of you have put on a lot of weight. This is men and women. Some of you put on a lot of weight as a form of protection. I've worked with a woman. I worked with a woman who was slim figured, right? Who had a slim physique in her upbringing. And then she experienced abuse. Oh man, this is a success story, right? This is a success story. One of my very first clients in her adult years experienced abuse. Right? Experienced abuse, sexual abuse. She was getting out of her car at her apartment and somebody literally had ran up on her and did God knows what. And after that experience, she put on a whole bunch of weight, right? This was not something that she consciously did. It was a subconscious response to being abused. She put on all of this weight. She deformed herself. She shape-shifted. She changed her skin suit as a form of safety. She wanted to put on weight on an unconscious level so that she could not be seen as attractive, because if she's not seen as attractive, if men don't find her attractive, they're not going to abuse her. They're not going to approach her. They're not going to do her any harm. You guys understand that? And so when we did coaching, first of all, we did a lot of womb healing. We did a lot of womb healing, a lot of womb purging, a lot of womb alchemy, to where she literally had to go through and transform her beliefs about why that happened. And it's a process. It takes time, right? It takes time. We still work together now. All right. But through this work, family, she was able to lose all of that extra weight that she put on. She got engaged and she's really living her best life right now, right? But I say all of that to say, a lot of times we do certain things to our bodies, right, as a form of safety. As a form of safety. I know for me, after I had our first child, I had put on some extra weight around the waist. And to me, it was an unconscious test that I was giving Dream to see if he was still going to love me, not having that same athletic physique that I had when we first got together. Okay? When Dream and I got together, I was fresh out of college. I went overseas to play volleyball. I was in shape. And so was he. We were both in the best shape of our lives. And because I had that wound, because I had that father wound of, okay, I have to be this type of person in order for my daddy to love me. I have to do these certain type of things in order for my father to love me. I carried that same energy into my relationship with Dream. And because that was an unconscious belief, I was almost like, okay, let me shapeshift my body. Let me hold on to this weight. Let me get this diastasis recti. And what that simply means is when you get pregnant and the muscles in your stomach, they're normally like this. Diastasis recti, they open up like this and they don't go back. Right? On an unconscious level, I said, let me do that to myself to see if he really loves me beyond what I look like. Okay? So we do this all the time where we would shapeshift our bodies, we would change our skin suits in order to feel safe. Even if the thing we are feeling safe, or even if the thing that we are asking for safety for is an illusion. Okay? Even if it is an illusion, we will still do this. And so I need y'all to understand that, family. I need you to understand that sometimes you're telling yourself stories. Sometimes you're creating deceptions. All right? It was an illusion for me to think that I had to do something to be loved. It was an illusion for me to think that I had to look a certain way to be accepted. I have bought into the illusion of the American standard of beauty. I have bought into that. Okay? And so many women have bought into this. This is why BBLs are crazy right now. This is why tummy tucks and breast augmentations. This is why this is all so crazy and it's so popular right now. They are deforming themselves in order to feel safe. Safe because, this is some crazy ass psychology. Safe because everybody wants to fit in somewhere. When you fit into a community, when you are a part of a community, when you are accepted into a community, you feel safe. Okay? So I want y'all to pay attention to the ways that you do this to yourself. All right? Something else that happened in the movie, in the series, The Man Who Fell to Earth, he starts crying, right? Mr. Faraday, he's at this estate, right? He's at this estate in London, and he's going there because he wants to connect with his adept who is downloading to him everything that he needs to do in order for him to create this technology that's going to support his planet, right? And he's listening to the music. And as he's listening to the music, he's starting to cry. And he's crying because he says, I'm starting to forget about you. I'm starting to forget about you. He's saying something like that. And what he was alluding to was that the adept, when he was on planet Earth, he was starting to forget about the love of his life on his actual planet. And the reason why he was forgetting about her was because he had fell in love with a woman on planet Earth. And that relationship that he had with the woman on planet Earth was making him forget about the love that he had on his planet outside of Earth. Follow me here. Because Spirit downloaded to me that the reason why we forget about who we are, the reason why we forget that we are the God and the goddess who fell to earth is because of our mother. The love that we have for our mother makes us forget who we are. Especially when your mother is disconnected from who she really is, which most of us who have come to this path have had to grow up with a mother who was disconnected from who she truly was. She had to survive. Maybe she was a single mother and she's just out here on survival mode. Maybe she was highly spiritual. Maybe she did have some high science, but because everybody else around her was Christians, she had to conform. She had to deform to fit in and to feel safe. Maybe your grandmother, the matriarch. Maybe she was a magician, an alchemist. But because it was not safe to be that magical being, she had to conform to the standards that were present in that time, which for most of us was going to school and getting an education, which for most of us was going to church, all of that. Okay? And because our mother is our first God, we forget that we are gods ourselves. We forget that we are goddesses ourselves. We forget that we are sacred beings who simply came here to have an experience. Okay? And so let's talk about why your mother is really that first person who unconsciously, right? And this is why you parents right now, this is why you are so important. You have an important role because you are ushering in gods and goddesses, and it is your duty to make sure that they maintain that knowing. Okay? It is your duty to make sure that they maintain that knowing. Let me tell you, the first thing that helps you to forget is when you come through that womb. When you come through the womb, there is literally a spiritual veil that covers your eyes. And let me not say covers your eyes. There's a veil that covers your spiritual eye. And so when you come through the birth canal, ooh, this is some juicy shit. The womb, the birth canal is so tight, it literally compresses all of those memories out of the baby when you come into the earth. Okay? Think about the vagina. Think about how small the vagina is and how big a baby's head is. As that baby is coming through the birth canal, all of that baby's memories is being squeezed out, right? And that veil is being casted, right? That veil is being casted over the baby's third eye. So that's the first thing. When you come through the mother, when you come through your mother's womb, whether you was born vaginally or by C-section, right? When you come through the mother's womb, when you are born, there's a veil that covers your first eye. Shout out to DreamWise for the first eye supplement. Shout out to him, the God, the visionary. Love you. Right? But when you come through the womb, there's a veil that covers your eyes, right? And especially when you come through the birth canal, there's a squeezing that happens that literally squeezes away those memories. So that's the first thing that happens. The second thing that you need to know is that your mother is your authority. Your mother is your authority. And let me tell you something that is so deep, that is so dope. The authority that your mother has over you in this lifetime will never go away. Let me say it again. It does not matter how conscious you become. It does not matter how conscious you are. Your mother and your father will never go away in this lifetime. What do I mean by that? What do I mean by that? It's not to say that your mother runs your whole life. It's not to say that, she tells you what to do. We're already past that. We're already past that. Your mama, she probably still tries to tell you what to do, and you're already at a space to where you're like, all right, ma, whatever, bye, whatever, right? But there's an energy there to where you still feel that authoritative presence of her, right? To where even if you do something great, there's still a thought of your mother. If you make a mistake in your own life, there's still a thought of your mother. The energy of that authority is always going to be present. Why? We hear this in the Bible. It says, honor thy mother and thy father. Honor thy mother and thy father. This energy is not going to go away. She is always going to feel like an authority, and that is because she is. That is because he is, on a physical level and on the spiritual level. Okay? Now, within that authority, you still have sovereignty. I'm just talking to you about the energy that is present, right? In the back of your mind, whenever you are making certain moves, whenever you are doing something, either you are thinking about, what will my mother say? Or you have this hope that your mother will approve. What would my mother say? What would my mother think? Would my mother approve of this? A lot of times you are not conscious of this. And here's something so deep. A lot of times you project those needs that you crave from your mother, you project that onto your partners. Those needs that you wanted from your father, you project that on your man. And it is still, in essence, the authority of that mother-father energy. Okay? How do I know this? Last night, I just love being a spiritual being, having a human experience. Like, I ain't even mad. Like, it just is what it is. Everything is always working out. We're gods and goddesses who fell to earth. But last night, I had a dream last night that we were getting ready to go to our son's kindergarten ceremony, award ceremony for getting out of kindergarten, making it to first grade. I had a dream that we were going there. And in my dream, my mother is still trying to run the show. She's trying to tell me how to dress our kids. She asked me, let me tell you, the mother energy, you cannot get away from it no matter where you go, in the dream space, in the physical realm. You cannot get away with it, right? In my dream, my mother is telling me how to dress my kids and how to dress myself. And in my dream, I'm like annoyed by her. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, I know how to dress my kids. And in my dream, she said something about my locks, right? She said something about my locks, like, girl, you need a retwist or something like that. And guess what? Look at my head today. Look at my head right now. I got my locks wrapped up. I got my locks wrapped up. So I'm telling you right now from my own experience that mother, that honoring, right? To honor means to hold in high regard and high respect. And when it comes to authority, we hold authority in high regard and high respect. And in my dream, my mama told me I needed a retwist or something like that. And look, I got my hair wrapped up today. The mother. Your mother is the very first person who becomes that authority in your life, and that causes you to forget that you are a god and a goddess who fell to earth. And they don't do this on purpose. They do this for your safety. Okay? They do this for your safety. Y'all want to know something else that's so crazy? A lot of times we unconsciously become, or we try to become, what we believe our mother or father want us to be. I was listening to this coaching session, right? Y'all already know your girl is a spiritual healing coach. I'll be on the phone with y'all having these spiritual conversations, but I'm also always learning. And I was listening to this coaching example by one of my mentors, right? I was listening to a video from one of my mentors. I was watching her coach somebody spiritually. And the girl on there was saying how she grew up with a father who told her all rich people are Republicans. All rich people are bad. right? That's what she grew up thinking that she was hearing from her father. And so literally she becomes an adult and she struggles with abundance. She struggles to make money, right? Follow me here. Follow me here. This girl is being coached and she's having abundance issues. She's struggling with making money. The coach asked her, well, why do you feel like you struggle with making money? Why do you feel like money is a bad thing? And the girl says, well, my dad always told me that rich people were bad and that rich people were all Republicans and that rich people never looked out for others. Rich people only want money for themselves. This is what her father was telling her. And so in the coaching session, the coach asked her, well, what does your father do right now? And she says, yeah, well, my father, he drives like the metro. He drives a public city bus. And she asks her, well, is the public city bus a business? And she's like, yeah. And then she says, well, does your father have any other business outside of driving the metro bus? And she says, yeah, actually, my father has like a farm and he sells food and things like that. Oh, so your father is a business owner. Your father makes money for himself. And she was like, yeah, he does. So at the end of the coaching session, they had basically just got down to the fact that the woman was making herself broke because she thought that's what made her father proud. She thought that being broke, not having money would make her father approve of her because as she was a kid, all she heard from her father was that rich people only look out for themselves, rich people are Republicans, and rich people are bad. That's all she heard growing up from her father. And now she becomes an adult and she is unconsciously and subconsciously asking to be broke, asking to not have money because that authority figure in her life. Okay? So a lot of times we will deform ourselves, we will shapeshift, and we will forget about the power that we have, the power to be healthy, the power to manifest love, the power to have abundance. We will forget about all of those things because we want to look a certain way to the authority in our lives. And the authority is the mother and the father, but most predominantly is the mother. Okay? She never made a single because her kind heart. I'm telling you, y'all, you have to pay attention to how you are showing up in the world. You have to pay attention to how you are showing up, right? Because a lot of us have forgotten our true love. A lot of us have forgotten our true self. A lot of us have forgotten where we have come from because we're deforming ourselves to stay safe. We are shape-shifting our skin suit to fit in, right? We become a certain person in order to align with the vision that the authority in our lives has set up for us. Which is why my hair is wrapped up right now. I didn't even put two and two together until right now. Literally in my dream, my mother was like, well, what you gonna do with your hair? Because I ain't had a retwist in months. And my mama was like, well, what you gonna do with your hair as you are going to this award ceremony? And then I wake up today and I throw a head wrap on. I look fabulous. I look great. I love it. But it is a testament to the authority of the matriarchs in our lives. Okay? But here's something that I want to give y'all. Here's something that I want to give y'all. Can I give you something? Can I give you this? I want to give you this. I want you to know that because you are a god and goddess who fell to earth, I want you to know that you ultimately are your own authority, right? You are your own authority, and you are so much so the authority that you chose your mother and your father to be the people from which you will look up to and aspire to be, aspire to be better than. You chose them, right? But here's what I really want to give you. There is a science to return to from which you came. You can return back to the cosmic womb. And within the cosmic womb, you can determine how you want to show up, what universe, what timeline you want to dwell and exist on. And something that I'm so grateful for is that at the Master Student Conference, whether you are showing up live or online, I am going to be going in detail on how to connect to the cosmic womb, how to connect to the mother womb, and how to connect to the earth womb. Okay? There are 3 wombs that you need to understand. The cosmic womb, that's from where your soul, right? That's from where the source energy dwells. The cosmic womb, that's the outer space, that's the triple darkness. That's the cosmic womb. That's from where you fell from. You understand? That's from where there's still that piece of you. There's that spark of you. Those stars that are out there in the night sky, that's you. And you have simply transported yourself into this physical form. But I want you to know that you can connect and tune into that cosmic womb, to that sacred part of yourself. You can do that. All right? Not only that, in the physical, in the flesh right now, whether you are a man, woman, or a child, you can connect to the womb of the woman. You can connect to your own sacred womb. And when you connect to your sacred womb here in the physical, whether you are a man or a woman, when you connect to your sacred womb, this is you healing some of the physical things that have taken place in this lifetime. You can transport yourself back into the womb of your mother in order to heal. Because a lot of the shit, right? A lot of the trauma, a lot of the belief systems that you've inherited and that you've been running on, a lot of them stem from when you were still in your mother's womb. A lot of them stem from when you was an embryo turned fetus, and then when you came out. Okay? And then lastly, you need to connect to the earth womb. Do you know at the center of the earth is a womb? Why do you think we call the earth Mother Earth? Right? We call the earth Mother Earth because within the earth is a womb. How do we know this? The earth is always creating. Thank you, Sarah Mother. Thank you for the donation, sis. I appreciate that. Right? But the earth is always creating. It is always creating. And when you connect to Mother Earth, this is where your safety and your security in this physical form stems from. Right? Yes, you are a goddess who fell to earth, but you came here with some concessions. You came here with some divine support. You came here with technology. Okay? The man who fell to earth, he came here with technology. You also came here with technology. And the technology that I am going to educate you on, the technology that I'm going to gift you with at the Master Student Conference is the technology of the womb, the technology of the sacred mother, which is you, which is me, which is a lot of you, the woman that you came through, the technology of the sacred mother, the technology of the cosmic mother, and the technology of the earth mother. If you can understand the technology and how to connect with those wombs, right? You can birth anything. You can birth, you can manifest, you can transmute, you can heal, you can do anything when you understand the technology of the womb. Okay? And we are going to be going in on this topic at the Master Student Conference. I'm like this. I'm so excited to see y'all. I'm straight bringing divine feminine fire. I'm straight bringing the woman is all. The woman is God. The woman is the end all and be all. How do we know this? The child comes from the woman. The man is always trying to connect to the woman, and the woman is the woman herself. Okay? The woman is the mother herself. The man is always trying to connect with the womb. Even if he's a gay man, he's still trying to connect with the womb. He's still trying to connect with the feminine energy. Okay? At the Master Student Conference, it is going down. Y'all, the Master Student Conference is like, what, like 10 days away? Let me look at the calendar. This is crazy. This is crazy. I am excited. I'm so excited. I'm about to start packing already. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 days away. Ooh, come on, Spirit. 13 days away. The 13, right? The middle point encompassing all energies. Okay? The 13, the Master Student Conference is 13 days away. I am so excited. I'm so excited to bring y'all this science on the cosmic womb, the earth womb, and the sacred womb of the woman. It's going down. It's going down. Before I go, does anybody have a question about the womb? Does anybody have a question about the gods who fell to earth? Does anybody have a question about deforming ourselves, shape-shifting? Lily, you know what? You can change your virtual to an in-person. Lily, go ahead and message DreamWise on the Geneva app, and he will give you all the support that you need. Go ahead and message Dream on the Geneva app, and he will give you all the support that you need. Look at this picture, y'all. Let me see if I can. Look at that. Look at me being a great mother right there. That's great mother energy. I'm holding 2 babies. You can't tell me nothing. I'm holding the masculine and the feminine in my hands right there. You can't tell me nothing. Wow. And that's funny because my best friend Victoria just sent that to me right now. All right. Any other questions before we get out of here? Any other questions before we get out of here? I ain't seeing no more questions. So I love you guys. Make sure you like the video. I appreciate y'all. This energy right now, this matriarchal energy right now is so prevalent. It's so powerful. It's so prevalent. It's so powerful. I'm so grateful to serve y'all. I'm so grateful to have you, a God is your divine sacred self in this space with me. I'm so grateful for it. Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing y'all at the Master Student Conference, whether you are there in person or online. I want to see you. I want to see you. All right. I'll see y'all soon. 13 days